So guys, let's go ahead and work on the transaction screen. So the transaction screen is over here, and it's kind of gonna look similar to the dashboard. So I'm just going to copy this. Let me just copy everything here. Then we just have to close only one box. So let's paste it and close only one box. So let's save and see what we have. And I think we are missing some things. Couldn't find touchable opacity, which is not really that hard. What we can do is to still come over here. We can just copy exactly what you see here, and can still go ahead and paste that. So let's save and log in again. So we are almost coming to the end of the tutorial. We're almost there. So coming here again, we are still missing something. Can't find account balance. So you can't find account balance is because in the dashboard we provided account balance from the user account. So let's just copy that and come over here as well and paste it. And don't forget as well to bring in navigate from the navigation. So let's save and let's try one more. Oh, something is still missing. Use selector, I suspected so. So for the use selector is as well simple. You can just go ahead and copy this and still paste it. So hopefully we should be, I think we should be able to proceed right now. So let's check again, and everything is looking pretty fine and pretty good. So you can even do something like align flex start so that it automatically stays at the top and not have to disturb you again and again. So that's it. Now let's start working on the main things for the transactions. I think we should just touch this yellow background a little. It's kind of touching the edges, which is pretty not good. So at here, I think this is supposed to be padding horizontal so that to space it out. So it's kind of better this way. So same thing you did for that one, do it also for the dashboard. So I'm always using the auto suggestions, which is very good, but sometimes can make you to be lazy. So you see everything is kind of very nice. So coming back here, let's start working on the transactions components. So beneath here, we're going to bring in the container. So the container is going to take the remaining height and the remaining width. So the content is just like a scroll view. We're going to give inline styling of padding bottom, of theme, dot spacing, dot extra large, as well as the show vertical scroll. We set that to false. Then inside of it, you're gonna have a box reflects direction of row. It justifies content of space between align items to center. Then here we have a text. So this is just the last 7 days transaction. So make sure you save everything properly. So we have that nice looking text. I think one thing again I forgot here is to add let's just wrap this on a box because I don't want to touch that one for now. And let's give this one a padding horizontal of medium. So we have transactions for the last 7 days, and we're gonna have another box beneath this one. Reflects. So this is supposed to be a box. Reflects direction of row, a padding horizontal of medium, a justify content of space between. Then we have another box here. So this box is supposed to be for our graph. So maybe probably later we are still going to come back to learn about React Native graphs because I also want to build cryptocurrency application for us. So probably we can still come back to build the graphs and also perform some animation for our cards. So that will be probably when I'm done with the Flutter course, because I promise I'm going to finish it. I've been very busy these days. So we have a padding right of extra large. Then we have the box with a margin bottom of medium. Then we have a text with a variant of body, font size of 12. So let's give this a total spending. And we're gonna have another text with a color of danger, a variant of title 1, and a font size of 25. So this one is 0.00. Then here we just have to quickly grab let's go to the card and grab the Naira sign. So let's just copy this, come over here and paste that and clear the price. So hopefully we should be able to see something that looks nice. Say text must be rendered inside a text. So I don't know where I'm making a mistake. So in case you see something like that error, just go ahead and locate where maybe probably there's an empty space that is containing a text that's outside of text component, because I kind of looked around, I couldn't find anything, so I had to take time and just look around. So everything is working perfectly. We don't have an issue. So when we save, we see the total spending. So here we still have one more box to add. So that is supposed to be the box for total money received. So let me just go ahead and save that. You could see we have total money received with the price as well. So it's just going to list out all those things there. So we are almost done. So beneath this box here, we're gonna have a box with a padding vertical of medium. So these are the ones that is going to list out all our transactions. So we have to say if there is no transactions.length, or if the transaction.length is greater than 0. Sorry, if the transaction.length is less than 0, then we have to say something like a text with let's give it a text align of center. Then we have no transactions for last 7 days. Else we're gonna have a box. So let's kind of format this. We're gonna have a box. So inside this box we can now list out transactions from our transactions array. So these transactions probably should be coming from transactions schema or transactions model that is going to be recording every transactions in your database whenever a user sends or receives money. So you now have to find a way to make it unique for a particular user, and also it should be in a list of order, just like when you're talking about user charts. So here we are going to get the name, the type, the price, the purpose, the date, and so let's wrap this. This is supposed to be double parentheses, because right here we can pass the index. So this is I think I'm kind of missing something out. So let's wrap it in one more and let's break this down. So let me kind of use null. I wanted it to format properly. So here we are gonna have a parenthesis that is gonna have a box, and we're gonna give it a key of index. So let's break it down and also break everything here. Here we are gonna have a padding horizontal of medium, flex direction of row, justify contents or space between, margin bottom of medium, align items of center. Then we have padding vertical of medium, and also a border bottom width of 1. Then inside that box, we're gonna have another box. It's gonna have a text. So this text has a variant of body. Then we have name of that user. For this one, we have the date of the transaction. So all these things are already in the array, in the boilerplate. You can just check around, you will still see it. So we have the date, and don't forget to give it a variant of body, a font size of 5, and also a margin top of small. So let's save and check. So right here you could see we have the user listed, and also the, I think this was supposed to, okay, okay, yeah, we are in the right track. I was thinking maybe I'm doing mistake. So we have the user listed. The only thing remaining now is the transactions or the money sent or received by the user, for the user or by the user. So beneath here, we're gonna have another box. So this box is gonna be a text with a variant of body and a font weight of 600. So here we have to check for the type. So if the type happen to be a send type, we have to return negative. We're gonna use the Naira sign again. So let me just grab that quickly. So we use negative of that money, and we can now set the price. So this was supposed to be backticks. So make sure you do everything properly, or it won't work as you wish. If not, we use that same backticks, put the Naira sign down, and we just have to put the price, which is a positive price. So here we just have to get rid of this and put it at the end, and we should be okay with that. So you could see that the ones that we sent are negative, the ones that we are going to be receiving are in positive. Then for us to give it a red or green color, is very simple. We still use the ternary operator. For the color, we say if the type is equal to received, we set it to primary color, or else we set it to danger. So let's save that. You could see we have that nice transaction. So yeah, we're almost done with that. So the only thing remaining for us to do now is to still go to the dashboard or to the card and grab the tab navigation. So there's actually a way you can also use animations to do your navigation, but I think I've not done that before, but there's no big deal there. It's still something that is very, very easy. Maybe one day we are still going to try to do it. So let's save, and I think we should have an error because I don't have an onSwitch function. So I will just grab this onSwitch function and come over here. And paste that. So I think for the account balance, I think I was supposed to be using account balance here. Well, let's just go ahead and save. So you could see the tab, but the account balance is not actually necessary here because we don't need it over here. So you can just get rid of every component that you don't need in these transactions. Everything that you don't need. It kind of makes your code looks neat and very organized. So we have the transactions for the user, both the one the user sent and the ones the user received. So we are almost done, and the last one is to go over to the more components, and let's quickly go over and do it. So for the more component, before we proceed, I just want to grab this. I want to grab these lines of codes, and let's go over to more. So you could see the more component there. So we can just paste this, and we are going to return a parenthesis. Then we have a box with a flex of 1, a background color of white, justify content to flex end. So here we are going to have another box with a flex of 1, a padding of medium. Then we have a text variant of title 1 with a color of black and a font size of 30. So we have here more things you can do. So you could see the more immediately took effect, and to make it look more faster, we can just go ahead and grab our tabs and put it down. So I think it starts from here. So don't make the mistake of cutting it. So make sure you copy it properly. So let's save, and you can see when we go over to transactions, it comes over to the more, it comes over. Everything is looking almost done. So we need this text. We are going to have another text with a margin top of medium, font weight of 600. Then we are going to have a variant of title 2 with a font size of 25, margin bottom of medium, and also we're going to add receive money. So this is where we're going to be listing out our account number for the user, for each user that just registered. So we are going to have a box with a background color of Barter 3. So we are about to list out our account number. Then we have the padding vertical to be medium, padding horizontal as well to be medium, a border radius of medium as well. Then we have a box with a flex direction of row and align items to the center. Then we have a text with a color of black, variant of body. Then we have Barter account number. So this is where we are going to be listing out our account number. So we are almost there. Why is it on the floor? Why is it not at the top? I think it's because these things are separate. So let's just cut this one and put here and see what we have. Okay, everything is back to normal. So I kind of close this outside where it should be. So we have the Barter account. Then we are going to have another text. It's a variant of title 1. And inside here, we're going to have a color of black, a font size of 18, a margin left of small, font weight of 700. Then we have user.account number. So let's save. The user is not yet here, so we are supposed to get that error. So to get a user, you can say user, we can just quickly grab the user from use selector from the state.auth. So save that, and let's go back to login. Okay, we still don't have that, but we're gonna come back to fix that, because I think we can just access the account number using the structuring, but let's just kind of try something out. So I'm gonna use here account number. So let me just console.log that account number. So it shows undefined. So here we have account balance, and we have the account number. So account number is in user. So here we are supposed to destructure the user. So let's kind of try to grab the user. So the user is null, but I don't know why. So guys, to avoid error, what I actually did was to go over to the auth reducer. I added another account number key. Then I came here, instead of us to be using the payload directly, I just decided to add an account number, then specify the payload.user.account number. So it will just add it together for us, so that over here we can just destructure with account number, and right here we don't even need the user again. We can just use our account number directly, and it's going to show that account number. So what we're gonna do next, we have to come beneath this box. So we're gonna have another box that is going to contain the bank name. So let's give it a flex direction of row and align the items to center. Then we have a text with a color of black, a variant of body. We have bank name. Then we have another text with a variant of title 1, a color of black, a font size of 18, and also a margin left of small. So we have a font weight of bold. Or let's use a font weight of 700. That will be the best. And here I can just give it the name of the bank. So I use Bold Skills Bank. So you can just use the name of your bank in case you're a banker. So you can just go ahead and save that. You could see we have the bank name as the Bold Skills Bank. So we still have some things to do as well. So here we're gonna have another box with a padding vertical of large, and we're gonna have a touchable opacity. So inside here we have box with a flex direction of row, justify content to space between, and also a border bottom width of let's use 1. So guys, we're almost done with the tutorial, just that we have to finish up. And here we can give it a padding bottom of medium, border bottom color of primary light, and we have another box with text, variants of title 2, font size of 17. Then we have this one as invite friends. We also have another text of variant of type body. So let's use body here with a font size of 14. So let's say get paid for every friend that signs up and uses Barter. So let's save that and see what we have. So I think we're almost done. We are getting there. And let's go ahead to add the second one So this one is a box, reflects direction of column, and a margin top of M. Then we have padding horizontal of medium as well. So inside here we have a text with a variant of title, a color of black, font size of 20, font weight of bold. Then inside here we have make a payment. Then beneath that text we are gonna have touchable opacity. So inside this touchable opacity we are gonna have a box with a margin top of medium. It reflects direction of row and justify the content to space between. Then we have margin top of small, a border bottom width of 1, and then we have a border bottom color of primary light. Then we have padding bottom as well of medium. So make sure you spell things correctly. Then the next one inside that is gonna be a box. So this one is gonna contain a text with a variant of title 2, a font size of 17. So this one is pay with QR code, and we can add a text as well, the variant of body, the font size of 14. Then we have make payment with Visa QR. So let's save that, and I think we've run into an error again. So what is that supposed to be? So he's saying a value of title does not exist. That is because a variant of title. So where is it? So this was supposed to be make a payment is supposed to be, I think, title 2 or title 1. Let's use title 1, and let's log in and click on more. Not bad. So the only thing is that is kind of joined together with the one at the top. It's kind of joined together here. Okay, not bad. We have a flex direction of row of we have a flex direction of column. So guys, I'm just trying to check everything. So the only one I know that we are having a mistake on is this one, because this was supposed to be doubled. But I don't think anything is wrong with it, so let's still leave it this way. Not bad. So I'm going to copy this for one more last list. I'm just gonna copy this below and paste it and save. So when it shows, I think I didn't copy it properly, so I'm supposed to copy it together with this box. So the whole box as a whole, you can just copy that and put it here. So this is send money to WhatsApp, and this one is send money to your friends on WhatsApp. So I think we are almost done, and this one is supposed to be send money. So let's save that and let's see what we have. So we are done with the more. So everything here is looking nice, not bad, and we have our account number. So whenever we want to send a user money, we just have to come over here and take the account number and send the money. So the only thing remaining right now is for us to work on the send money screen. and we are going to be able to do that from this component. So please, if you have come this far, please don't forget to hit that like button and also the subscribe button, and also share this video to your friends. This video is just gradually being taught, and even if you are new to React Native, this is a very good educative video for you. So thank you once more, and let's see on our next video. Hello and welcome back to the second part of this video. So in this time around, we are going to complete our Barter application. So before you proceed, please do make sure you hit the like button and subscribe button so that YouTube can show this video to many people that want to learn React Native. So right now, let's continue. And we are going to start off with the send screen, where we are going to be able to see some forms, and we can input the cash. Then we can go over to the send money screen and complete the transaction. Then we can now start using the socket.io to emit events that is going to trigger an alert system to the second user that such amount has been sent to that user's account. So right now, let's just clear this now. So make sure you type things correctly, because sometimes I'm in a hurry, so I can quickly make mistakes. So this box is gonna have a flex of 1 and a background color of white. Let me just close the left pane. So inside here, we're gonna have another box. So sorry for that. We have a background color of primary light. Then we have a flex direction of row, a justify content of space between. Then we have align items of center, padding horizontal of medium, padding vertical of large. So let's scroll a little bit down and go inside this box. So inside here, we are gonna have another box. So keep doing this mistake. So this one is gonna have a text component with amount to send. And let's tie that text with a color of black, a margin bottom of small, and also a font weight of bold. Then we have another text input here. So let's go ahead and close that. So this text input is coming from React Native. Then we have the placeholder of 0.00. Let's give it an inline style. So here we have a height of 50, a width of 100%. Then we have a padding of 7, a font weight. So this is font weight of bold, and also a font size of 23. So make sure you avoid errors as you type along. Then here we're gonna have a keyboard type. So let's give this a keyboard type of number pad, because it has to do with money. Then we have a placeholder text color. So this is placeholder text color of black. Then we have to set the default value. So for the default value, we are gonna quickly do that, but let me just put down amount. Then for the unchained text, whenever we are typing, we want to set the amount. So we can just call a function from the React state called set amount. Then we can pass that text. So let's just go ahead and fix that. So right here, I'm going to create an amount and also a set amount. Then I can use the state of an empty variable. So let's save that, and let's kind of log in. Okay, since it is refreshing, let's see proceed. We are still going to come back to that. Then we have a box. So here we're going to have a flex direction of row, align items of center. Then we have a border left width of 1, padding left of medium, and we're gonna have Nigeria icon. So this has to do with flag. So I'm giving it a height of 20 and a width of 20 as well. So this Nigeria you see here is just the Nigerian flag icons that I used SVG to compile. So if you check in one of my videos, just search for SVG. I think in my videos, you're going to see how to use SVG on your React Native application, which is kind of more cool than just using the normal SVG file. So we are done with that. The next thing remaining here is to add a text. So we just type down ngn, and here we're going to have a margin left of small and a variant of body. Lastly, let's give it a font size of 13. So let's go ahead and save that, and now let's go ahead and log in. So I'm going to log in with that user. So once we are in the dashboard, after a successful login from the backend, you could see we just made a request, the last request over there. We can just come over to the dashboard and click on send money. So everything that we've been doing, you can actually see it here. So it's kind of not really organized, and let's go ahead and fix that. So let's scroll a little bit up, and I think right here we have a box and a box here. So let's bring this down here and save that, and you can see at least we have something looking a little bit nice. And let's scroll down. So scrolling down here, I'm going to take one box and bring it down here, and let's save that. So you could see we have the amount to send and the Nigerian flag at the right. Quickly, let's finish updating that. So I'm going to scroll a little bit up. Then I have a box. So here I'm going to have a margin top of large. Then inside here we're going to have a button component with a text. So here we have a text of continue because we are going to finalize it on another screen. So let's add a text of continue, and we are going to give this an inline style of width of 100%. We have a background color of theme.colors.barter. Then we have a text align of center, a justify content of center as well. Then we have a border radius of 5 and also a padding vertical of 12. Let's save that and check. So right here you could see we have our text input and also the button. So this kind of touching the edges. So let's just give it a padding horizontal of medium so that it doesn't touch the edges of the screen. And I think also we have to give this one. We have a padding horizontal of medium, but for some reason I don't know why it didn't apply. Let's save that. I knew that was going to throw an error, so it's very fast. That's the bad side of React Native. So while that is refreshing, let's kind of finalize everything that we need at the top here. So whenever we click, put the amount and click on send, we have to navigate to the send money screen. So I have to bring out the navigate from the navigation. And beneath here, we're going to have on send, which is a function. Then we could say if the amount is less than 100, we have to allow the user that the amount is less than 100. That's to tell the user that the user cannot send more than 100. Then else, we have to navigate to the send money screen, and we can pass the amount. So let me just scroll down and go over to, so over here we are going to bind that to the onPress. So for the onPress, we just have to bind the onSend. Then here we're going to give this a variant of title 1, a font size of 23, and also a font weight of bold. So that solves it, and everything is going to look fine. So let's say we sent a value that is less than 100. You see we get the alert that the amount is less than 100. So once we send more than 100, we quickly go over to the send screen. So this is going to be the last screen where we're going to work. Then we connect the socket IO and start making transfers. I'm going to quickly open the send money. So if you could recall here, we are sending, whenever we are navigating to the send money screen, we pass the amount. And over here, I'm going to first of all grab the amounts. So we could say the amount is going to be coming from the route.params. Then for the dispatch, we have to bring it down. It's very necessary because right here we're going to be making use of the Redux. Then we have the user is going to set the purpose. So all this I'm doing, we are still going to get there. So let's just put it down, which is going to use state. Then we also have accounts, which is going to set accounts, use state of empty value. Then we are going to have an onSend function as well. So for us to, before we come back to this onSend, let's go ahead and work on the design aspect. So here, I'm going to have a box with a flex of 1, a background color of white, a padding horizontal of medium, a padding vertical of large, and inside here we're going to have a text. So this is going to be the recipient email address, or sorry, recipient account. So this is the recipient's account, or let's say recipient details, which is going to have a variant of title 2 and also a margin bottom of large. So let's save that and quickly go over to that screen. So I don't know why this application keeps refreshing and refreshing. I don't know why. So beneath here, we're going to have a box with a border bottom width of 1, padding vertical of medium, margin bottom of medium. Then we have a text variant of title 2. So let's just give this the name of our bank. So I give it a Boskills Bank PLC. So this was supposed to be a text input, but I just have to make it a fixed text because we are not working with the bank name. Unless you have like different banks, you can now use something like a drop-down list that's going to give you the list of different banks. So I just want to stick to one bank, which is the Boskills Bank. That's just an imaginative bank. And we can just go over to send money, and I'm going to send like 200. Okay, so here we have the Boskills Bank, and I think I have to reduce the font size, which is 15. So after the Boskills Bank, we are going to have another box. So I'm just going to copy this and put it down, duplicate that. Then inside this box, we're going to have a text input. So here we have a placeholder of account number. We have an inline style. So I want to give it we have the width of 100%. We have the font size of 15, padding vertical of 0. Then we are going to have a keyboard type of number pad. Then we have a placeholder text color of black as well. We have a default value. So for the default value is going to be the account number. So I will just say accounts, and then we have the on-chain text. On-chain text is going to take the text, then we have to set account, and we can pass that account. So let's quickly put that here. Okay, we already have the account and also the set account. We don't have to do that twice. So here I can just put the text. So we're gonna have another box. I'm just going to copy that. Then inside that box, we're gonna have another text input. So let's just copy this. And paste it down here. Then we have the purpose. So pretty much the same thing, except that for this one, it's not gonna be a keyboard input of keyboard number pad, but it's gonna have a default value of the purpose. And here we're gonna set the purpose to the text. And lastly, we are gonna have a box with a margin top of medium. So inside this box we have a button. So we have a style. So let's scroll a little bit up. Then we have the width of 100%, a background color of theme.colors.barter. Then we have a text align of center, a justified content of center, a border radius of 5, and a padding vertical of 12. So that's the button, and we have to map the onPress to the onSend. And inside that button, we're gonna have the text with a variant of title. Let's say title 1, a font size of 23, a font weight of bold. Then we have the continue, and let's save that. So right now you could see everything that we have. That's why I told you that the name of the bank will just have to be fixed, because we don't have different banks. We are just working with only one bank, which is our application. So except for the account number, like each user do have an account number. So coming back to the more screen, you could see every registered user do have an account number, and that's exactly what we are going to be using to send money to every user. So we are actually done with every design. So whenever a user is done typing or wants to send money, from here the user have to first of all pass the price, and then the user comes here and type down the account number. So let me just use a random account number, although that we are going to create the account. Then I can say purpose. Let's say I bought akara from Mama Nkechi. So let's say I bought akara from Mama Nkechi. Whenever the user press this, we want to now construct a data that we're going to use to emit to the backend using the amount, the account number, and also the purpose of that transaction. So inside here, we're gonna have a data object with amount. So this amount is going to be coming as text, and I want to convert that amount to a number. I just have to add a plus sign in front of it. Then I can pass the purpose, and lastly I can pass the account. So the account is as well as a text, so I want the account to be a number as well. So let's just go ahead and kind of send that in order to check it in our console. So when I send this, we've not yet consoled it out. Console.log data. So let's go ahead and send that again. You could see we have accounts. Let me just zoom it up. We have accounts, amount, purpose. I bought akara from Mama Nkechi. So you could see that's it. So right now we have to now, whenever we send money, we have to navigate back to the dashboard screen. But first we must dispatch So for us to dispatch, we now have to come over to our actions. So coming over to our store actions, we now have to use the transaction action. So if you see here, we have an action for sending money, and also we have an action for receiving money. I'm going to quickly come at the top here, and I'm going to import. So I want to import send from our transaction action. So I just have to go back, I think, to folder, go over to the store /actions/transaction action. So I can now come inside here and dispatch using our Redux, send the data. So when I save and click on here, it brings me over to this place. Can now use the structuring. We have the amount, we have the account, and also we have the purpose. Then inside the function, we can now do whatever we want to do. So first of all, we have to get the user, get current user details. So I have to grab the user from our auth user. Then we have to check whether the user balance is less than the amount the user wants to send. So if the balance of the user is less than the amount, the transaction is not supposed to proceed. So this is not actually refreshing. Then I can say if the user.account balance is less than the amount, we want to terminate the transaction. So we can just return a message like, sorry, you don't, let's use double quotes here. Sorry, you don't have enough balance. Then we can now construct the data that we are going to be emitting to the socket IO backend. So construct send data. So here we have the data we are going to be sending. We can now pass the amount, the account number. Let's use account number. Yeah, let's use account number, which is the account. Then we can now pass the purpose. The sender is going to be the current user.email that is sending. Then we can now give this something called the room ID. So the room ID is just a general room that every user is going to join whenever they open our application using socket.io. Then we are going to emit to that room or broadcast a message to that room. The message is now going to search for a user with that specific email address and just give the alert to that specific user. If you check at the top here, you see the random room ID I just added. So you can just change this to whatever you want it to be. So every user that is going to be using the app is going to have that same room ID because that is the only room ID they are going to be emitting an event to. Unless you want to do something like a private chat where I think in our WhatsApp React Native video, I did something that looked similar like WhatsApp, where two users can be able to chat together using a specific room ID, and the system can be able to differentiate each user's message from all the messages. So right here, we are done constructing the data. Then we have to emit the data. So I can now say socket.emit. I'll just emit send, then I'll pass data. So whenever we send money, we have to update that user's details, update user account balance and details. So we are here to go to the transaction. I think the transaction reducer. I think we already have. We are not using the transaction reducer. I think we are using the users reducer. Yeah. So here I now have to update the current user amount, which is the user.account balance minus the amount the user is sending. Then I can now dispatch a type of update account, update amount. So we have update amount, the payload of current user amount. So let's go ahead and save, and let's go to the back end. So if you come to this server.js file, you can notice that we've not yet connected our socket, and because of that, even though we emit an event, we are not going to still be able to emit to the user, to the second user or to another user. So we are going to quickly connect our socket. I created a sorry guys for that. I created a middleware file. Let me just get rid of this. We don't need that. A middleware file called socket. So this is exactly where we are going to be doing everything. But first, let's bring it out here. So I can just comment this as a web socket. So we are going to require that file. So we have from middleware, we want to require the socket file, but we are going to call a function called a default function for that middleware file, which is going to accept the app IO and also the database. And let's go over here. Of course, we are supposed to have a crash because we've not yet set up everything. So it's saying the require is not a function, and we can just quickly go ahead and start working on that. So before we proceed, first I have to bring in the UID. So I usually like bringing it in case we will actually need that. Then we have to bring in the schema. So the schemas, or let's say the schemas, we have the transaction schema, which we probably may not use in this video, but maybe later, maybe when we are working on alert system for a native application, then we may use it. Then we have the user, which is going to require the user schema. So probably you know about the user schema. Then we have the module.exports. We have the app, the IO, and the database, which is the default function. And let's save and go back to the back end. You see we don't have any error again. So this is where we can now say io.on connection. So whenever we connect, we have to return a function with the socket. Then inside this callback, we have to join every user to the room ID. So we can now say socket.on join service. I think when we send, we probably should join. Okay guys, let's do this way. Let's first of all join a service. We're going to find a way to generally join every user whenever they open the application. I think that looks very safe than just using the send to join. So whenever the user joined, let's kind of console.log user joined. And to do that is very simple. I think the best way we can join is to join from the dashboard. And let's go over to source component dashboard file. So right here, we have to bring in the sockets. Then, okay, we already have the socket there. And we have this room ID. And I can just go down here. And let's say we're using the use effect. So whenever the component loads, so we can use the use effect. Whenever the component loads, we just want to join the user, this current user, to that using the socket ID, and join the user with the room ID. Then we can, I think, let's as well dispatch this receiver, because this receiver is going to be constant for us. So whenever we are using it, we don't have to come back here. So we can dispatch the receiver. Of course, we've not yet touched it yet, but we are still going to come back to it. So let's check in our console. What's the problem? It says can't find variable dispatch, and I think I've not yet brought it out. So we could say dispatch is equal to use dispatch. And let's save. So coming here, we can just log in, and that user is already joined, because when we check in our back end, you could see we have user joined. So whenever every user logs in, every user gets to join that same room. Then here we can now perform whatever we want to do. That is, let's say socket.join. We can now join the room ID. So now let's manage send events. Socket.on. So probably you should record that we have on send, which is going to accept the amount the user is sending, the account number, the purpose, the sender, and also the room ID. So here we are going to have, before that callback, let's add a callback here, which is now going to return a callback. And inside here we can now do, so let me just kind of console.logout user sent money. And so this callback here is used to catch errors in case things didn't go properly. So let's go back to send money, and I want to send 600. Then the recipient's account number, can't find variable dispatch where is that supposed to? Oh, I think we've done that. We don't have an issue with that. We have dispatch. Probably let's refresh our application, and I think that should solve it. So close this because we don't need that again, and let's close the send and just work with the ones that we need. So guys, sorry, let me just quickly restart this application. So our app was not actually doing the things that it should do. So right now let's go back to that place. I'm going to add 500 and click on continue. And here we are, like I said, we are going to add a random account number. I realize now that I think I don't have dispatch here. Oh, where is the error coming from? Because we still have another error right now. Can't find dispatch. And that is not supposed to come from the... So we have a dispatch here. Let's kind of check on the send. Here we have a dispatch, but we didn't bring it out here. So the problem was coming from send components. Right now, that should probably settle that. Yeah, it was coming from the send component, and we just fixed that because I think let's kind of save. So hopefully that should solve it. Let's click on send money. Yes, it was from this place. And now I have to do a hard reload. And the second error is the use dispatch. We did not even bring that in, which is very bad from us. So we have React Redux, and I'm sure you might have done that. You didn't even tell me, and you're watching the video. We can click on login again, continue, and here click on send, and probably we shouldn't get that error. And let's click on continue. Yes, can't find variable data. So that was supposed to be coming from the send money. It can't find variable data. Or let's kind of check here. Do we have anything that have to do with data? Yeah, we have something that have to do with data that we didn't construct over here. And it's not actually necessary here. It's not actually necessary because we are navigating to the send money with the amount. Right now in the send money, we don't need data in the send component, and every error is fixed now. We can now proceed. And here is where we are supposed to dispatch that send data, and we have to import it here. Oh, I imported it into the wrong component, and that was why we had that clash. I have the send component. Oh, we already have it at the top there. I don't know why I keep making this mistake. And over here we can still get rid of it. We don't actually need it in the send component, and we don't also need the dispatch. Right now, let's go back to where we stopped. I'm going to add a random number. Like I said, I bought akara from Mama Nkechi, and let's hit continue. Hitting on continue, coming here, we can go over to our sockets, and let's console.log the amount that we just sent and also the purpose to make sure that everything is working perfectly. And coming back here, I think usually when you do this, you must refresh. That's the most annoying part.